So today I'm going to be walking you through the process of how to change out your string on your keyboards. Now this is a xylophone here, an old muster, and it's kind of beat up, but it's what we have and we're going to do what we can to take care of it. Now if you were doing this on a marimba, then it'd be the same process, but with more bars and longer string. Now if you notice here, there's already some fraying that's really obvious. If you're not careful, the fraying will start to really get bad and you'll strip out that outer layer of the parachute cord. So you really want to get that addressed. There has to be tension on this string in order for the bars to be nice and suspended, or else they'll start hitting on the wooden frame. Now this is our muster marimba, and aside from being a different instrument, it's also built a little bit differently than the xylophone that we're going to be working on today. Primarily this right here, the string is cradled through on this little post right here, I'm going to call it, and so it's very easy to lift off and clean and everything. So on these xylophones, like the M51 that we're looking at today, the string is actually not cradling on there. It's actually going through the hole, so I can't just lift up like I was doing on the marimba, okay? Most keyboards nowadays, they're cradled like the marimba, but I know a lot of us, we're still using old equipment or maybe equipment that was formerly marching, keyboards like a marching xylophone. So that just complicates things a little bit, but it's okay. I'm gonna show you how to work through it. All right, here's a list of items that you'll need for this project. You'll need some parachute cord, something to cut the old cord with, and you'll also need a lighter. I don't have the springs on this xylophone, so we're gonna use a turnbuckle. We're only gonna do the flats and the sharps, so I only need one, but you need one for both the top and the bottom row of the keyboard bars. But this turnbuckle right here, you can find that at a hardware store. I'm also gonna be cleaning the bars, so I have some water and some paper towels to be able to clean off some of the bars. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut the existing keyboard string. I'd also cut the one down here, so then you can make it really easy to pull the string out. It's gonna take a little bit of work to get that through, probably more on a marimba. And that was in really bad shape. Now that the bars are loose, I would go ahead and take this as an opportunity to go ahead and clean under them and dust them off, get them free of any debris. This is a good chance to do that without the bars being in the way. Now, as I was cleaning the keyboard frame here, I noticed that there's a lot of dust and debris on some of these resonators. And so here's what a really dusty one looks like right there. And there's one that I've already started cleaning. So it's a really big difference. So while you have it taken apart, this is a good time to take care of some of these issues, especially on a marimba, where the resonance is even more important. You want to go ahead and take care of this now while you have it apart. All right, once you get your keyboard all cleaned off and dusted, we can start to thread through the parachute cord. Now, right here, you'll see that I've gone ahead and melted the tip right here so that it's a little bit easier to maneuver through the bars. On this particular xylophone, we actually have to go through the post and through the bar itself. So that makes it a little bit more complicated to clean it like I was doing a moment ago. And so while I had it apart, that's why I went ahead and cleaned. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and start threading this through. I've gotta go through the post and then through the bar. And I'm gonna give myself enough slack so that I can continue to lift up here and have room to go to the next post. Working underneath. And then pulling it through there as well. You just got to be careful not to get it in a knot or anything or wrapped around something. Now, hopefully by now you see the importance of having the end of the cord melted into a point so that it's easier to feed through the bars. If it's frayed off, then it makes it a lot more difficult to do that. Also, as a reminder, I'm only doing the top row today, the flats and the sharps. If you were going to do both the naturals and the flats and the sharps, because of the way that the keyboard bars from the flats and the sharps overlap onto the naturals, you definitely want to start with the naturals first. Now, once you make it all the way through, you just thread back through the other way, and it's the same process, you're just going a different direction. Now, once you get done threading the parachute cord through all the bars and all the little loops, you wanna make sure you pull and have a lot of tension there. And I'm gonna take this turnbuckle, and I'll explain why I'm using this here in a second, but this is something I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna loop this through one of the ends and then tie a knot there and do the same thing here, okay? This turnbuckle here, it's my first time using one of these for this particular project. Normally, we'd actually use a spring, okay? This is being a very old keyboard. All of our springs are missing, and it's why it was really loose, and anytime the kids would play on certain notes, you'd actually hear the note hitting on the wooden frames. That's part of why I got this right here, because this is better than nothing. You can order the springs. You can go through your local music store. Now, if you still have your springs, or if you buy some through your music store, you can, as you're going through this process here of finishing out the project, all you'd have to do is tie a knot towards the end of your parachute cord, and that'll keep that end from going through the skinnier end of the spring. Okay, you do that on both springs. You want to make sure you make it so that there's a little bit of tension. You have to work at it for the little hooks to meet there, and it's nice and tight. You want that tension all the way through on the parachute cord. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the cord here. This is the rest of my spool is on this end over here, and I'm going to cut right there. So now we have this frayed end right here, and what I'm going to do is take this outside so that I won't set off the fire alarm with all the smoke, whatever. All right, so with this lighter, I'm going to go ahead and burn off that end right there so it doesn't fray anymore. You'll see it melt, and let it cool for a little bit there. You can just rest it somewhere where it's not going to touch anything else. Also, this is the end of my spool of extra parachute cord. I'm going to go ahead and burn that off as well so that I'm ready for the next time I need to do any more restringing. All right, so I've gone ahead and tied some knots here on both ends, and I'm going to just start turning this little turnbuckle. All right, looks like we're all done here. It's pretty tight. Make sure that as you tie on here to the ends of the turnbuckle, they're as far out as possible, so that when you start turning to add the tension, you have a lot more room to work with. If you're using the little springs that come with your keyboards, then great. This is just what I had in my toolbox, and I wanted to get this done now. I hope this helps you out, and again, like and subscribe and share for anybody that needs help with this project. All right, thanks. Good luck to you. Bye-bye.